afternoon and welcome to The Lyric Professors. I am Professor A, and behind me, usually, but she's missing at the moment, is she who needs no introduction, although she just got one, Professor Dogger. And on the other side of the world, we are joined by Professor J. How is this on the other side of the world, Professor J?
It's stormy weather. Stormy weather.
Stormy weather. Oh dear. Who wrote that then?
Thunders. We have lightnings. Stormy weather.
Can't remember.
One of them blues guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember at all. But yeah. What's the chord of the day, Professor J?
Today's chord is a C major 7 in this voicing. Dogger's there.
1 second, we found Professor Dogger. Get up, be quiet. Yes, so I thought you did a C major 7 for last week. Did you not?
Oh, I did a B7 suspended fourth.
Oh, that
as in the beginning of Venus.
Venus, yes, of course.
Yeah.
C major 7. I used to play that further down, I think, without a
You
bar.
can play it here, so
Yeah,
you can play it at, this is probably the most common way of playing it here.
Yes, that was it.
This is the most common voicing, but this is kind of a jazz voicing, like this, where you're just playing, you're only playing 4 strings.
Nice.
Jazz, man. We're going to be talking about jazz later, aren't we?
Oh, we probably are. Yes, I think we will. What we're doing, we are in fact continuing with our study of the lyrics of the self-professed gangster Nancy Sinatra, and that's really hard to say. Lana Del Rey. We have 3 songs today for you, and the first one will be Body Electric, which regrettably is not a Sisters of Mercy cover. It's a different song.
We'll come on to that.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a 2012 song from the Paradise LP.
Mm-hmm.
I feel obliged to mention the length of each of these songs. So this is a steady 3:53.
Yeah, not too bad, is it? I could have picked longer.
It's probably more difficult to pick shorter.
Yes,
than it is.
Probably is in this case. Yeah.
It is longer. I say we just dive into some lyrics. Okay. Elvis is my daddy. Marilyn is my mother. Jesus is my bestest friend. We don't need nobody because we got each other, or at least I pretend.
Yeah, that'll do for a start, I should think.
Yeah.
Do we know who Elvis was? Yes, of course we do. We talked about him. We talked about him a great deal when we were mentioning Mr. Nick Cave, who was a big fan of Elvis.
Elvis Costello, you mean?
Elvis Costello, yeah. He did some great songs. That one was on the Sopranos soundtrack, Complicated Shadows. Awesome song. So obviously, she's said in a few interviews that she's been inspired by Elvis. You don't really see it in the songs or the performance, but yeah, she also recorded a song called Elvis in 2007, presumably when she was called.
Prior to Lana Del Rey incarnation.
Yes, Sparkle Rope something or other, probably. Yes, and she obviously does, although there's no real, I would say, obvious Elvis influence to her songs, there definitely is a lot of influence from older styles of music. You appear to have frozen up, Professor J. Are you still with us?
Yeah.
Good. Marilyn, also mentioned by Mr. Nick Cave. Last we heard, her negligee.
Marilyn Manson.
Her negligee was wrapped around JFK's spinal cord. Last time we heard her referenced in lyrics. Marilyn Manson, no. He's called Brian, isn't he? Which is he's a real name Brian something. Yes, it's far less spooky than he professes. We come back to the Hollywood sadcore thing, which is the description lots of reviewers have given her music. And you don't get much more Hollywood or sad, for that matter, than Marilyn Monroe, who had a very messed up life.
Yeah. Is she the one who had 12 toes?
No idea.
I think there is a photo of her at an early age when she had with 12 toes.
That's just greedy, isn't it?
One of my karate senseis was Dogger. So Professor Dogger is obviously telling us that Marilyn did not have 12 toes, but one of my karate senseis was born with 11 toes, and he had a little vestigial lump because it was basically snipped off with a pair of pliers at birth.
Nice. I had no idea you did karate. When was that?
In my my 30s, I did karate.
Really?
But,
no idea. I knew you did rowing and cycling. Anyway.
Yeah, when I stopped all that.
When you grew up, yes. My technical drawing teacher at school had an extra thumb, which was interesting.
It's just cheating.
Yeah, I don't know if he used it for drawing, but yeah, he did, and he obviously still had it. It wasn't snipped off at birth. So anyway, I think we've got a bit lost here.
Yeah, Jesus next.
Jesus, yes, and more to the point, we have a repetition of bestest, which was in one of the other songs, and it was suggested that she could use that to be sarcastic rather than saying best. Possibly.
And that also, and with the next line as well, with the double negative, we don't need nobody.
It's triple negative, isn't it? No, it's not. Silly me. Never think I got a degree in English, would you? Yes, we don't need nobody because we've got each other, or at least I pretend. I presume that was referring to the bloke she's singing it about rather than to Elvis, Marilyn, or Jesus.
Never thought about that.
It could have been Jesus she was referring to. I don't know. But, yes, this is a breakup song, or a having broken up song, I would suggest.
Yeah. Okay. All lyrics. We get down every Friday night, dancing and grinding in the pale moonlight. Grand old Opry. We're feeling all right. Mary prays the rosary for my broken mind. He said, don't worry about it. I sing the body electric. I sing the body electric, baby.
Yes.
And the pause there.
Okay. As we mentioned, as I mentioned when we were doing "Born to Die," the song. This is a very different use of a Friday night. In "Born to Die," I can't actually remember what exactly it is, but it's something about I feel so alone on a Friday night. That's it. On this one, she's obviously not feeling alone on a Friday night because she's reacting to having broken up with this fella by going out dancing every Friday night in the pale moonlight, which is mentioned several times in her songs, the pale moonlight.
I mean, she doesn't mention yet that she's broken up.
No. Well, except with at least I pretend bit earlier. Yeah. No, but pale moonlight is mentioned in the big hit "Summertime Sadness," dancing in the dark in the pale moonlight. I think it's also a quote from the first Batman movie, isn't it? Have you ever danced with the devil?
It's the thing that the Joker's supposed to said before he kills his parents, right?
Yeah.
You ever danced with the devil in the pale moon? And isn't that in what's that pale moonlight song? Is that Roy Orbison? Van Morrison?
Oh. Van Morrison definitely did one about moonlight, but it was pale.
Yeah, maybe.
So long since I've listened to Van Morrison. Interesting subject for a future podcast.
Yeah.
What do you know about the Grand Ole Opry, Professor J?
Zero.
I thought you'd been there. I thought you went down to Tennessee or wherever it is. And...
I know nothing about it. Where is it?
It's Nashville, Tennessee.
I've been to Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, I thought you mentioned going to the Grand Ole Opry while you were there. Oh, well, maybe not.
No.
It's a sort of building and concert. It's both of them. So it's a big country music thing.
Right.
In Nashville.
I mean, the thing with that... Right, Cam.
No, I was saying lots of stars of emotion there, such as Billy Ray Cyrus and his Achy Breaky Heart.
Oh, there we go. What a banger. Absolute banger. So yeah, the problem in Nashville is there's so many good musicians that you can walk into any bar and you will see the most talented musicians you will ever see in your life play an amazing set constantly. So there's no reason to go to the Grand Ole Opry. You can go anywhere. So I had a pretty amazing long boys weekend in Nashville one time with a lot of moonshine, and I came back with cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, which cowboy hat I was actually wearing last night.
Excellent. And why not? Yes.
And why not?
Further points on Grand Ole Opry, Elvis played there in 1954. So that's another callback to that.
Right. So we're feeling all right. Mary prays for the rosary. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, it's obviously the Catholic system of prayers and confessions. I don't really, it's a sort of bracelet with stones on it, isn't it? And you say one prayer for each stone on the rosary or something like that. Something like that, yes. In an unreleased song called Fordham Road, Lana Del Rey states that Mary is her guardian, someone who's kept her on her path and helped her through addiction. But it's posited by the people online, so it must be true, that this could also be Mary referring to Mary Jane, as in marijuana.
Oh. I love you, Mary Jane. Okay. Then she sings about the body electric for a bit.
Yes.
Doobie doobie doobie. So what dost thou know about the body electric, Professor A?
I know it's a poem by Walt Whitman.
Who was Walt Whitman?
He was an American poet, essayist, and journalist. Excuse me. Apparently, the poem praises the physical, sensual world and the human body's place within it.
Okay, so this was written in 1855. Walter Whitman Jr. being around from 1819 to 1892. It's a good old age for that time, isn't it?
Yeah,
good old years. Do you want to hear some of the lyrics from this poem?
I'd love to hear the lyrics. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, verse 1. I sing the body electric. The arm is... Start again. I sing the body electric. The armies of those I love engirth me, and I engirth them. They will not let me off till I go with them, respond to them, and discorrupt them, and charge them full with the charge of the soul. So the verse 1 is all about dead and connection and the soul and the body. Then I wanted to read a bit from verse 9. It's a long poem.
Okay. Just be careful. I'm not sure you're allowed to say words like engirth on YouTube.
Okay, so now we skip forward to the final verse, verse 9. O my body, I dare not desert the likes of you in other men and women, nor the likes of the parts of you. And then there's this whole thing about, where is it? He's just listing bits of the body: mouth, tongue, lips, teeth, roof of the mouth, jaw hinges, strong shoulders, manly beard, scapula, upper arm, elbow socket, arm sinews. And he goes through strong set of thighs, well carrying the trunk above, leg fibers, knee pan, underleg, the brain in its fold, sympathies, heart valves, womanhood. Then finally, it comes, the thin red jellies within you or within me, the bones and marrow in the bones, the exquisite realization of health. Oh, I say now, these are the souls. So that's the original mention of the body electric, where he's talking about the infinite capacity of the human body and the interconnectedness of people, and just saying that everything's connected in it.
Right, yeah. Would you like to hear what someone on the internet said about the usage of that in this song? So it's obviously true.
Yes,
Someone on the internet said.
please. Yes,
This is somebody on Genius, the lyric meaning site. I do not have their name, sorry. While an autoerotic hypersensitivity to the electrically charged body is clearly in play here, note also the technological metaphor of singing electricity, which makes sense given the retro references to pop art media icons, Marilyn, Elvis, earlier radio broadcast systems from the Grand Ole Opry, and classic photography elsewhere in the song. Often
Could you say
overlooked.
that again, but slower. It's big words. I can't assimilate.
Okay, let's do it again. While an autoerotic hypersensitivity to the electrically charged body is clearly in play here, note also the technological metaphor of singing electricity, which makes sense given the retro references to pop art media icons, Marilyn and Elvis, early radio broadcast systems, like from the Grand Ole Opry, and classic photography elsewhere in the song. Haven't got to that bit yet. Often overlooked is the fact that in I Sing the Body Electric, Whitman himself was referring not only to sensuality but to telegraphy. In the poem, Whitman describes the female form as sending out, as if through telegraphic wire or mad filaments, expressions of fierce, undeniable attraction. In the larger book Leaves of Grass, from which the Body Electric poem derives, Whitman makes clear that he considers body and soul one indistinguishable mystic fusion of vital spark of electricity. There you go. But I don't get that from the bit you read out. So.
Well, I could have read all 9 verses. I read a couple of lines of 2 verses.
Yeah, and they were very funny. They were too, to be fair. Yes.
I mean, considering this was written in 1855 in America, it's interesting. So, I mean, he was a realist and transcendentalist, and is often called the father of free verse.
Right.
Of course, his 1855 poetry collection, Leaves of Grass, of which this featured, was described sexually, overly sensual and obscene.
Right.
Which I can imagine for those sort of times.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
What else do you know about the Body Electric, Professor A?
I don't know anything else about the Body Electric, I don't think. Do I?
Well,
Should I?
Who else has covered it?
Right. Well,
who else has used that word?
That would be the Sisters of Mercy, who we had previously discussed. Was there?
Oh, I thought you were going to say the weather report.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's a great. Do you know weather report?
Oh, I've heard of them. I've not listened to them. No.
Yeah, it's an album from the early 70s, I think 72, and it's kind of very free-form jazz. Really, it's great. If you like jazz, you'll love.
I shall have a look at that
album. Yeah. But yes, of course, the Sisters of Mercy was one of their early songs, right?
It was their second or third single, I think, long before the albums that we reviewed.
1982.
Yes. Something like the Body Electric flashes on the bathroom wall or something.
Too much contact, no more feeling. The sound around the mall, acid on the floor, so she walk on the ceiling, and the Body Electric flashes on the bathroom wall.
Yeah. Sounds about drugs like every other song they've done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what Lana Del Rey does in the video? No, it's actually later. We'll leave that for the next verse.
There isn't a video for this one.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I haven't seen the video.
Well, never mind. We'll get to that. Another thing, after Sing That Body Electric, Sing That Body Electric, I'm on Fire, Sing That Body Electric. I don't know if this is just generally, or if that's a reference to the Bruce Springsteen song of the same name.
Body Electric?
I'm on Fire. It's a classic Bruce Springsteen song.
Don't know that one.
Oh. And also, I'm not sure when she's talking about And the we get down every Friday night, whether she's talking about her friends or simply youth in general. This kind of thing. I don't know.
Get down.
Yeah.
Go. All right. More lyrics. Whitman is my daddy. Monaco's my mother. Diamonds are my bestest friend. Heaven is my baby. Suicide's her father. Opulence is the end. And then we have this sort of chorus we get down every Friday night. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. So at this point, it's I think it's the video. It might have been a live performance, But when she says Whitman is my daddy, she points to a tattoo she has. I think it's on her shoulder. And the tattoo, it says Nabokov Whitman. Do you know who Nabokov was?
He wrote Lolita.
He did. That is right. And what is that about?
I believe it's a not very pleasant subject.
Yes. Well, it's about.
Can you confirm?
Well, it's about the seduction of an underage girl by a
Yes.
teacher. I think he is called Humbert, which is
as mentioned in the Police song. Don't stand so close to me.
Yes, exactly. Which is another one of those songs that you sent me a link about, which has not aged well with its acceptability.
Right.
Yeah, Nabokov, who also famously, his first name was Vladimir. Vladimir Nabokov is famously an anagram of Vivian Darkbloom, which would have been a much better name. But so she has a tattoo saying Nabokov Whitman.
Why?
I believe
she
well, as she said, Whitman is her daddy, so that's why she thinks that she's used his daddy as pretty much a term for any male she's involved with or admires. So,
right. And Nabokov?
Nabokov. Well, she wrote a song called Lolita.
Right.
I don't know. That's something we're not going to delve into on YouTube, I should think.
Monaco is my mother.
Yeah, I don't know, but obviously it's another place where the Hollywood elite are often seen. It's a tax haven, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I guess it's just that kind of thing.
Just that kind of thing. Diamonds are my best friend. That's who sang that song? Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Is that Marilyn Monroe?
She did sing it in a film. Whether she originally sang it, I'm not sure. It might have been before then. Yes, another reference.
Okay, Heaven is my baby.
Yeah, not sure about this, to be honest. I don't know whether she's saying that her baby is her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, I don't know, and it was Helen being with him. Or, I don't believe she's talking about an offspring baby. Although it says her, isn't it? Heaven is my baby, suicide's her father, so the baby must be female. Not sure about that. And I'm also not sure about the suicide's her father line, which is. One could understand it if her father had committed suicide, but as we know, he's just released an album, so he didn't. So I'm not sure. It's a very sort of doomy, sad call.
Yes.
Opulence is the end. Or is that the end as in what you're aiming for, as to attain all these diamonds and hanging out in Monaco? I should imagine.
Yeah.
Didn't have much for that verse, I'm afraid.
No, me neither. Okay, well, let's jump on again. My clothes still smell like you, and all the photographs say that you're still young. I pretend I'm not hurt and go about the world like I'm having fun. We get crazy every Friday night. Drop it like it's hot. The pale moonlight. Then it's kind of into the chorusy bit again, except for the line, Mary's swaying softly to her heart's delight. Then we've got, I sing the body electric, I'm on fire.
Yeah.
Blah,
blah. Well, this is where we find out that it's a boyfriend that's gone rather than one that's current. Whether he's left her or he's died, I'm not sure. All the photographs say you're still young suggests to me maybe he's not around anymore.
Yeah, even though her clothes still smell like him.
Yes,
She
that
not
must be
washed,
recent.
this woman?
Yes. Yes. Well, I'd have thought, yeah, it must be fairly recent. All the photographs say you're still young, but well, he'd be the same age if it's recent.
Yeah.
Not sure. So I pretend I'm not hurt. We've heard the pretend bit before. We don't need nobody because we got each other, or at least I pretend in the first verse. So it's self-deception.
Yeah.
It's just sort of going out pretending you're having a good time when you're not really over whatever's just happened.
Yeah.
And then of course we've got a Snoop Dogg reference, actual Snoop Dogg reference.
Finally, we've got one in.
Yeah, excellent. Drop It Like It's Hot. September 2004 hit for Snoop Dogg. Would you like to hear the first verse or the chorus?
I would love to.
When the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. When the pigs try to get at you, park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. Pure genius. We are going to have to do
D loves that.
Oh, yeah, she
there she goes.
It's inspired her.
Drop it like it's hot, Professor D. So this is a kind of, in my mind, this sounds like a sex song.
It's an X song, not a sex song, surely.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. We've got Mary swaying softly to her heart's delight as well. We haven't. It could be.
Oh yeah.
It could again be the Virgin Mary from the Catholic thing, or it could be the Mary Jane from the smoking thing. I don't know. Especially after a Snoop Dogg reference. Yeah. Not sure. I do like this song though. It's got a nice bit of guitar on it, which most of them don't.
Yeah.
The one which I wanted to do, because I think the music to it's very good indeed from this album, is called Cola, but YouTube would ban us for life if we mentioned those lyrics. So.
We're going to have some interesting lyrics to negotiate.
Not as interesting as those ones, actually. But yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have much more to say about it. It's a nice little song. Around that time, she used to open her concerts with it, either that or Cola, the one I've said we're not doing. So, I also pointed out that live, her songs contain a lot more guitar, and it's a lot rockier than they are on albums.
Okay.
I watched one yesterday from 2016, and the instrumental outro while she's signing autographs in the front row, whatever, is absolutely amazing as a hard rock piece of music. Okay. So it's different.
I mean, the music of her songs is interesting. It's kind of how I'd like to play, but I feel obliged to fill in more of the space. You know what I mean? There's a lot of empty. I mean, that's some of the talent about writing music, right? It's not how much space you fill. It's the space that you leave, right? That makes a difference, especially in the couple of songs we're going to come on to. But they're Anyway, should we hop to the next one if we're done with this?
Yeah, we've skipped a couple of albums here as well, to be fair, because she's quite prolific.
A big jump.
She's prolific for someone who's only been around for 10 years or so.
Yeah.
And all her albums are long too.
Yeah.
No 30 minutes is here. They're all pushing the boundary of a CD at 80 minutes or whatever.
Okay, so the next song we're going to do is Mariner's Apartment Complex, catchy title, which is from 2018. And I assume I'll be substituting letters for the swear words. So
yes, it's generally called NFR. This
okay. Norman effing Rockwell, which was her 6th studio album, as Professor A just mentioned, in 2019.
Yes. So you want to just start? Or...
Yeah, let's dive in, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You took my sadness out of context at the Mariner's apartment complex. I ain't no candle in the wind. I'm the bolt, the lightning, the thunder. Kind of girl who's gonna make you wonder who you are and where you've been.
It's not quite right, but yeah, okay.
Oh.
It's actually I'm the board, not the bolt. Bolt.
Oh.
And it's make you wonder who you are and who you've been. Yes.
That's what I've got written. I just said it wrong.
Fair enough. Yes, right. Oh, someone said woof. Wasn't her for once. It has been speculated that this song is based on an interview she did in 2014 with The Guardian, which is a British newspaper for those who are not British. And the interview was conducted at the Maritime apartment complex. And the interviewer, after doing the interview, came back and titled the piece, I Wish I Was Dead Already. And this is where you took my sadness out of context.
Okay. Right.
She later said she very much regretted trusting The Guardian and wouldn't give them any more interviews again.
Right. Okay.
Why change Maritime apartment complex to Mariner's apartment complex? I don't know. Just it's the same number of syllables. I have no idea about our artistic license.
Yeah.
I ain't no candle in the wind. Fairly obviously. Well, again, this is a continuance of the you took my sadness out of context, so she's not as feeble as they thought. But also, obviously, it's a reference to the Elton John song, Candle in the Wind, which was originally about Marilyn Monroe, then repurposed for Princess Diana.
Yeah, so it's Marilyn Monroe again.
Exactly, yes. It's clicked on the wrong thing. Yeah.
I mean, so she's basically describing that she's changed. She's a tough girl. Whoever this is, okay, she's alluding to this journalist.
Yeah.
The person, he or she or they, misinterpreted what they read. She's no longer the person that she was before. She's rough detachment.
And then,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Then we get the board, the lightning, the thunder. I can work out the lightning and the thunder. It's as you should experience because you are living in Stormland or whatever. It's obviously a powerful image to show she's powerful now. But I'm not sure about the board. As it's by the sea, is it a surfboard? I don't know. Ouija board? I have no idea.
Well, the board, the board makes no sense to me at all. The bolt, the lightning thunder makes more sense to me,
yes,
but because the board, since we're going to be talking about Venice Beach a lot, maybe it's the very famous boardwalk along Venice Beach.
Oh, of course, could be. Yes, yeah, that's a good idea. Yes. So basically, people are positing that this is a counteraction to her critics.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, let's crack on. And who I've been is with you on these beaches. Your Venice B. So it's a word that sounds a bit like beach, but let's say use the word B. Your Venice B, your diehard, your weakness. Maybe I could save you from your sins. So kiss the sky and whisper to Jesus. My, you found this. You need this. Take a deep breath, baby. Let me in. You lose your way. Just take. Where
Arthur,
shall I
please
stop?
just stop after let me in. You've got
Okay.
things to say. Firstly,
Right, say things.
beaches. Very common theme throughout her music.
Yes.
We've got like High by the Beach, where she wants to get high by the beach. We've got 13 Beaches, where she, which apparently is a true story, where she had to go through 13 beaches to find one where she could be alone. Okay. So apparently, apparently she thinks beaches are the perfect place to be alone, which certainly isn't the case in this country. Then we've only got about 2 beaches which aren't full of sewage. So. Who knows? Who knows? The way this song is phrased, I think it seems to me that it was originally meant to be a duet. It seems to me like there's 2 people talking in this, which isn't the view anyone else seems to hold online, so it obviously isn't. But that's the way I get it. It's just struck me that it was probably written to be a duet, and then she just did it all herself for some reason.
Do you want a quote from her about it?
Oh, go on then.
You have a song is about this time. I took a walk late at night with a guy I was seeing, and we stopped in front of his friend's apartment complex. And he put his hand around my shoulder, and he said, "I think we are together because we're both similar, like we're both really messed up." End of speech marks. And I thought it was the saddest thing I'd ever heard. And I said, "I'm not sad. I didn't know that's why you thought you were relating to me on that level. I'm actually doing pretty good." And he was upset. And that's when I wrote the song. I thought I had to do so many times where, like, I had to sort of step on that role where I was showing the way and I was sort of being brighter light.
So it sounds like it's about 2 things, much like a Nick Cave or an Andrew Eldridge.
Yeah.
Shocking the way they do that, these songwriters.
Subverting our expectations. Okay, so some more stuff. You lose your way, just take my hand. You're lost at sea, then I'll command your boat to me again. Don't look too far, right where you are. That's where I am. I'm your man. I'm your man.
That's another reason why it sounds like a duet.
Yeah.
I think it's worth pointing out on the album actually has quite a few covers, but one of them, at least, she's on a boat with a bloke. They're sort of both leaning against the mast, whatever. She's got a hand reached out towards the camera. I think that's probably a reference to this. Use your way, just take my hand. You're lost at sea. So I think she's reaching out to the person who's lost at sea. I think, anyway.
But where was that in the video, did you say?
No, on the album cover.
On the album cover. Because, can we talk about the video for this one?
It's not a video, it's a short film. We've had this discussion before.
This one is not a short film. This is a
video.
It is.
It's a short film.
Get out here. Get out
15 minutes. It's the first 3 tracks on the album, stuck together. No.
Oh, I've got it on the Lana Del Rey channel as being a 4-minute 18.
Oh, right. Well,
4-minute 18 track.
I might not have seen it then. I've only seen the 12, 13, 14-minute job.
Oh, I don't know about that one. No, it's rubbish.
Is it?
And I'll come on to that when we do the next song as well. I find these videos intolerable.
I quite like them.
Yeah, but they're so... The next... Well, I'll come on to my explanation for the next one after, but I find this unwatchable. It's like blurry, black and white, just some picture of the sea. It's...
Well, presumably it's meant to be a vintage video, which would be blurry.
Yeah, but you could make it bloody interesting. I mean, it's just a picture of us. I mean, it's. Didn't we mention chewing gum for the soul or something at one point in one of our?
Chewing gum for the eyes, I think, is the
yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
It's not the video.
It's not something enticing. It's like background music, video type stuff. It's not super interesting.
Oh, I don't know
me.
because I haven't seen the 4 minute version of this, but the 13-minute version, which is comprised of the title track NFR, and it goes into this, and it goes into another one. I don't think it's Venice B. I think it's a different song, but that's three of them together, and that's 15 minutes long. That was shot by her sister Chuck.
Yeah, I'll be coming on to her later, don't you worry. Okay, more words. They mistook my kindness for weakness. I effed up, I know that, but Jesus, can't a girl just do the best she can? Catch a wave and take in the sweetness. Think about it. The darkness, the deepness, all the things that make me who I am. And who I am is a big time believer.
Okay, that's halfway through a sentence.
Yeah, that people can change, but you don't have to leave her.
Right, can we? That's great. We'll do that. But can we go back to the ones that we completely missed out before? Oh, you read them out. We didn't talk about it. The I'm your man bit. This is probably, it's thought, a reference to a 1988 album by Leonard Cohen called "I'm Your Man." She previously covered his song "Chelsea Hotel No. 2" and has stated that he's another big influence on her. So, that's probably what it is. Although I still hold out my duet theory, to be honest. Yes. Someone on the internet said,
"Oh,
for that whole thing, you lose your way, just etc. to I'm your man. Lana has now become the guide of this person. She's ready to take him and show him the path, watching over him just like the protective figure of a god that exhibits knowledge and is prompt to help in difficult moments. She has previously mentioned the sea theme as a symbol of freedom and wilderness. I love just being out on the water. To me, the open water is a good symbol of feeling free, and I always try to do everything I can to feel wild and free. It's important to note that the figure of the mariner is, above all, a metaphorical one. It could represent her fans or even herself. By assuring who she is, she knows she is the only one who can guide herself back to peace and a happier state of mind. Just a view of one man on the internet, and it's not me, so I don't know. And I'm only guessing it's a man, to be honest. It could be a goat. I have no idea.
Could be a goat. Yeah, it's interesting what you say about the beaches. I must say I love Venice Beach.
I haven't been.
Oh, it's great. Really, it's so warm the whole time. It reminds me of the time I lived in London. My favorite place in London was Camden, along the canal, which is always a bit hippie-ish. So this whole sort of Venice Beach thing. So I had some of my friends used to live with an apartment in Santa Monica, I guess. So not actually in Venice Beach, which is quite
central, isn't it?
Well, it can be a bit dark after night. But a bit further up towards Santa Monica. So they had a place that was like 20 yards from the beach. And it was great. I really like it there. It's like one of my favorite places. I've spent some more time there. So I can understand her if she's spent time there. I can understand her fascination with that place.
Yeah. Well, it certainly looks nice in the videos you don't like.
Yeah. Even well, they're just so grainy, and that's the thing that annoys me. I'll come on to it into the next one, but you remember when Instagram was good?
Vaguely, yeah.
So the whole thing with Instagram when it started. So I'm going to go on my rant now. Instagram when it came out was a photo app, so you could take photos and stick them on the webs. And the thing that set it apart from other apps was the filters. So you could take your photo and apply a sepia filter or a vintage filter or something like that. And for a long time it was locked. So you could only use photos that you were taking at the time you were using your camera phone. So it was kind of like a live photo, and then you would apply the picture to it. And then since its horrific commercialization, just becoming another form of advertising. People can upload anything they like. It doesn't need to be, taken in the app or something. I think that's what ruined it for me. But that's just my personal opinion, and I'm sure it's great for other people. And the videos that she has shot by her sister, they just remind me of like really early Instagram stuff. It's like I've gone back to 2011 and somebody's just learned about, because there was that whole thing when Instagram got really big, and then someone went, look, you can apply these filters. So everybody was putting these sort of fake borders like you used to get on negatives around pictures, and putting like a sepia or a green tint filter, and it's like someone's just learned that you can apply a filter to a video.
Oh, well.
Anyway, rant over.
Good.
We done with those lyrics?
No, we aren't, because we haven't done the next verse where I went back.
The ones that I've spoken.
Yes, we haven't done those, have we? Because I stopped you and went back to the previous stuff.
Okay.
They mistook my kindness for weakness. I effed up, I know that, but Jesus, God to girls do the best she can. I think the internal rhyme of that is brilliant. The meter of it is really good. Anyway, I just thought they mistook my kindness for weakness is just pretty much all of her critics. It's obviously not this one interviewer from The Guardian. It's obviously not this one guy she's talking about, because she says they. So it's got to be a group. She said herself, I think when I came out around 2011, it was just so not okay to be different, or like have a little sadness, or to be working through stuff. And she thinks she's been criticised for that her entire career. So I think that's just an answering back to her critics, that bit. And catch a wave and take in the sweetness. That sounds to me like surfing again. That they catch a wave. That could just mean look at the waves, go paddling in a wave. I don't know, but it struck me as being a surfing term. And this line is just basically, like you said, saying how wonderful that area is. I think.
Yeah.
Taking the sweetness, how nice Venice Beach is. The darkness, the deepness. I mean, she's saying those are her character traits. I guess, which is, I think other people should probably judge whether you're deep or not, rather than yourself. But who knows? And then she's comparing herself to that wave by saying it's all things that make her who she is. And again, darkness and deepness are words used to describe the ocean at times.
Yes.
So, yeah. And then you went halfway through the next verse for some reason, didn't you? Who I am is a big time believer that people can change, but you don't have to leave. Well. And I think the last album before this, Lust for Life, ended with a track called Get Free, which we have mentioned indirectly before. This was the song that may or may not have ripped off Creep by Radiohead. And it's basically her most not upbeat in terms of music, but in terms of lyrical positivity song.
Okay.
I did have a note on that, but of course I've lost it. But anyway, it was I say that album, Lust for Life, is the only one on which she smiles on the cover out of 9 or 10 or whatever it is now. It was very much the upbeat, positive, lyrically one, and I think this was meant to be a sort of continuation to that. It also is musically in that Get Free ends with the sounds of waves, and Mound's apartment complex is about that and has wave sounds in it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
I think that was that. And then it carries on. Even in the dark, I feel your resistance. You can see my heart burning in the distance. Well, not quite sure how you do that, but okay. And yeah, it's just more the same, isn't it? It's all that she's actually in a better place.
I hadn't read those lines yet.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God.
Hang on, let me read them out. When everyone's talking, you can make a stand. And I'm sorry, I've stopped halfway through a verse. I need to sort that out. Because in the dark, I feel your resistance. You can see my heart burning in the distance. Baby, 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 I'm your man, yeah? You lose your way, just take my hand. You're lost at sea, then I'll command your boat to me again. Don't look too far right where you are, that's where I am, I'm your man, blah, blah, blah. You ready for it? Want this, you need this, sweetness, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think baby, 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 I'm your man, yeah. I think that's actually an Ian Astbury lyric, isn't it?
That's all the lyrics.
Yes, pretty bad. And then he says something about a lobster telephone and song over, yes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably have to do him at some point, won't we? That will become obvious many episodes hence. Professor Dogger, please stop doing that. It's quite annoying. Good girl. Yeah. I think she's just saying that it's all about her being in a happier place than people think she is from her lyrics and appearance and that kind of thing. That's pretty much all of it. I think, and the "Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it?" While she's singing that, the guitarist plays part of the main riff of the next song, so it's an interconnected thing.
Venice B.
Venice B, yes.
Oh, let's do some Venice B if we're done with that one.
Venice B, yes.
Okay, so this is Venice B, swear word. This is the second single from Norman effin Rockwell from 2018. And this is Professor Dogger. This is 9 minutes. I've written it's 9 hours 36 minutes long.
It probably feels like that to you. But...
No, I like this one. This is my favorite one. This is 9 minutes 36 seconds long. Her longest track, and I've put here longest track to date.
It still is, as of the album a couple of weeks ago. So.
Did you hear what her record label said about it when she told them that she wanted this to be?
Yeah, have you got the full quotes? I do, if you don't.
I don't have it.
I do.
Do you have it?
Okay. Well, she told Zane Lowe, he's a Radio 1 DJ, I think something like that. It's a British radio DJ. She told him that when she played this for her managers and told them it was a single she wanted to put out, they complained, "It's 10 minutes long, and it's called Venice B. Why do you do this to us?" They added. "Can you make a 3-minute normal pop song?" She replied that at the end of summer, when this was released, some people just want to drive around for 10 minutes, get lost in some electric guitar.
Yeah. So I've got this listed as premiering on Beats One Radio with Zane Lowe.
Really?
Yeah. Is Zane Lowe too old now to be on Radio 1?
What is the Beats One? Is that part of Radio 1?
Beats One Radio. Apple Music One, previously branded as Beats One, is a 24/7 music radio station owned and operated by Apple Inc. There we go.
Interesting.
So yeah, so it was premiered on there. I also thought it was. I read it originally as BBC One. Yeah. BBC Radio 1. All right, let's dive into some lyrics. I'm going to have to be very editing here, so. And you're going to have to shout out when we're going. Again, I haven't indicated where the end of this are, so you're going to have to help me.
Okay.
All right. Fear fun, fear love, fresh out of F's forever. Trying to be stronger for you. Ice cream, queen. I dream in jeans and leather. live stream. I'm sweet for you.
Stop. Stop. Oh, you have. Right. Yeah. Well, Fear Fun. You know the significance of that?
No.
It's the name of an album by her good friend, Father John Misty, who I've never listened to him. Apparently, he's very popular. He was in her video for the song Freak. He's mentioned in another of her songs called Coachella Woodstock on My Mind, where she describes standing next to his wife and watching him on stage at Coachella. Coachella? I don't know. And yeah, that's the title of one of his albums, Fear Fun. So that's just a reference to him. Yeah. I don't understand the fear love bit, and then she goes on about how much she's in love for the rest of the album. Or the rest of the song. Fresh Out of F's Forever is not caring about anything, obviously. It's just, Professor Dogger, you were making it difficult, dear.
Why does he call himself Father John Misty?
Perhaps he's a ordained priest. I have no idea. No, he
it doesn't seem to be. He's been either permanent. He's got a great set of funny names of the band he's been in. It's like one of those joke band name lists. Okay. So Joshua Michael Tillman, better known by Father John Misty, has been in the following touring members of Demon Hunter, Saxon Shore, Fleet Foxes, Jeffertiti's Nile, Pearly Gates Music, Siberian, Hamar Superstar, Poor Moon, Low Hums, Jonathan Wilson, Damien Gerardo, Jesse Sykes, David Bazan. It's like a list of stupid names.
Fleet Foxes are quite big. And Hamar Superstar is...
yeah, I know them. Yeah.
He was in a couple of videos by the Afghan Whigs, Greg Dooley's band. I never worked out why he was in them, but yes, he was. Right, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so trying to be stronger for you. This I don't get either, because that sounds like something you'd say to someone who's in a bad situation or whatever. But again, this song isn't about her partner being in a bad situation, so I don't understand why she's saying that either, really.
Yeah.
It's very strange. It could just be sort of cut up lyrics from another song or something. A lot of bands do that. Ice Cream, Ice Queen. Well, Ice Cream is, I'd have thought, quite well associated with Venice Beach. I can say the beach, can't I? Yes, Venice Beach. You probably have ice cream a lot. She's an ice queen. I guess the image such as the image on the screen here, could sort of work with the ice queen thing, but I don't think her lyrics suggest it. That's the one you think of as sort of cold and untouchable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think it's a nice lyric, Ice Cream, Ice Queen. I think it's a nice sounding lyric. And I didn't think of this, but when reading the lyrics, I immediately jumped to DQ. Do you know of the DQ phenomenon?
No, I do not.
That's Dairy Queen. So if you spend any amount of time in the US and drive on any roads, you're going to stumble across a Dairy Queen, which is a popular brand of fast food specializing in ice cream, I would say. A fair way to describe it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever eaten in one, but I've certainly seen plenty of them. They're franchises, aren't they? So people
they're like a McDonald's that has a lot of ice cream. So I was seeing that. I don't know why, so it could be completely wrong. Yeah, Ice Cream Queen. And then Dreaming in Jeans and Leather. That just means being young, right?
Yeah, and she mentions jeans and that kind of thing in a lot of her early songs. She had one of her big hits early on, called Blue Jeans. And it's just the sort of thing young people wear. As the Ice Queen thing, in her song Brooklyn Baby off her 2014 album Ultraviolence, she has the line, "I think I'm too cool to know you say I'm like the ice I freeze." So that's kind of the Ice Queen thing, I'd say. Um,
Live
yeah,
stream?
well, yeah. I mean, it's a sort of it's a homophone, isn't it? For
You're
live
a homophobe.
stream, live stream, live dream, no, live stream, live stream. I think it's meant to be a homophone.
I mean, this these 4 lines I really like. Just in terms of the way it's written, I think it's really well
Yeah.
written. Be fun, feel love, fresh out of F's forever, blah blah. And then like this whole ice cream, I dream, Gene, live stream. You know, I think it's
It's internal rhymes are great.
yeah, internally rhyming. I really like these lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
we go. Anyway, there's a lot of lyrics, so I'm cracking on. Oh God, miss you on my lips. It's me, your little Venice bee, on the stoop with the neighborhood kids, calling out, bang, bang, kiss, kiss. I'm still waiting for you to stop me, by the way.
Stop. I actually thought by saying Venice Bee, you added an additional internal rhyme, which is even better. She should have just sung it's Venice Bee. It's me.
Where's the intern?
It's me,
yeah.
your bee.
Yeah. It's a genius.
She missed a trick there. Yeah. Obviously, Venice Bee is a play on words of Venice Beach, which we are allowed to say. Are you aware there's a large mural of her on Venice Beach?
Muriel? What's Muriel doing there?
Muriel. I don't know what she's doing there. Yeah, on the side of the Allison Hotel in Venice Beach, there's a sort of 30-foot high mural of her with lyrics from video games. So
right. Cool.
She's been sort of adopted by the area, certainly.
Sorry, carry on.
But yeah, I don't get. It seems to be the song seems to be over sort of different time periods because she's saying she misses him, but in the next line that we haven't got to, he's in the yard, so he's not missing. So I don't know if this is a sort of story of a relationship over several years, kind of thing, when people are around or not, they go and come back.
Yeah.
Anyway, on the stoop with the neighbourhood kids. What's a stoop in this country or your country?
Oh, it's like a porchy type thing, a terrace, isn't it?
That's what I'd say, a porch, yes.
Yeah.
So the neighbourhood kids are calling out bang, bang, kiss, kiss. What do we know about bang, bang, kiss, kiss, or possibly kiss, kiss, bang, bang?
Cracking track from the early 2000s. Kiss, kiss. Bang, bang.
Who's that?
Shoot from the hip. I don't know. I'm going to find out while you're talking.
I don't know. Oh, right, okay. Well, it could be a reference to the 2005 film Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is a neo-noir taking place in Hollywood and LA, involving mystery, murder and romance, themes which she's written about before. But I think it's more, I think it's James Bond, baby.
Oh.
His nickname in Italy was Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. And as a result of that, what's his name? Barry, the music guy.
Jonathan Barry.
Barry.
Yeah.
He wrote where he wanted it to be the title song for the Bond movie Thunderball. Yeah. Called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, or Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And it was sung, the first version he did of it was sung by Shirley Bassey. They thought it was too powerful. They wanted it to be more romantic for a Bond movie for some reason, and got Dionne Warwick to do it. And then the studio said, "No, we're not having that. We'll have one called Thunderball, please."
Right.
So it wasn't used. It's available on YouTube. The Shirley Bassey version is anyway. It's quite good. I like it. Of course, it's worth noting that she's whatever it relates to. She's inverted the phrase to "bang bang kiss kiss," which it says here. She's willing to shoot first, love later. I'm not sure that's what it means, but maybe. Yes. So what was this
So
song?
what are we saying? Calling out, bang bang
Bang,
kiss
bang,
kiss.
kiss, kiss. So it's the wrong way
What are
around.
these neighbourhood kids doing? Why are they calling out bang bang kiss kiss?
Well, perhaps they're pretending to shoot at cars as they go past and then blowing them kisses. I don't know. But obviously, bang bang could refer to some kind of sexual element as well.
What does she think she means in this thing?
I don't know. I think it's a reference to the film in this case. As I said, the neo noir set in Hollywood.
Right.
But,
I've not found that track I'm looking for.
no. Well, perhaps you should write it then if it doesn't exist. You probably just invented it.
It does exist, unfortunately. All right. You're in the yard, I light the fire, and as the summer fades away, nothing gold can stay. You write, I tour, we make it work. You're beautiful and I'm insane. We're American made.
Stop. Yes.
All right.
So again, recurring themes. She's very much into summer, and she several times mentions the end of summer, usually to provoke sadness because Hollywood's sad. Do you know the significance of the line "Nothing gold can stay"?
No.
It's a line from a 1923 poem by the American poet Robert Frost, who I had the pleasure of studying at university. Just read you that verse. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf's a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. So it's about the ephemerality of time and how everything must fade away, which is a lyric from one of our songs, if I remember right.
Which one?
Everything must turn to dust, no exceptions, it all must, from
Oh, yes.
Cinderella song, yeah. Which we shall put at some point, just to explain why we have two YouTube links on our screen. We are intending to put some of our music up for your general ridicule and enjoyment. We are just very lazy, basically, when it comes down to it. Or I am anyway, and I know already puts things up. So, yeah, but at some point, you'll probably be able to hear what I meant by that and stuff. Except that'll be difficult because it's full of uncleared samples, of course. Well, we'll see. Yes, anyways. She's at a point where you need to light a fire in the yard. The summer's fading away. Summer's ending, and nothing gold can stay.
Yeah. And then they're sort of having two lives apart. You write, I tour, we make it work. You're beautiful, I'm insane. We're American made.
Yes, that could be what it means. Lots of people have posited that she's actually both of the parts of herself. She has. She's spoken. I mentioned last time she's done a spoken word poetry book. Well, it's not a book, it's not spoken word, but a CD is spoken word. And she spoke about the idea that she did this poetry was to get past writer's block for this album. And one of the poems, I can't remember which one it is, says, "I'm generally quite quiet. I promise you'll barely even notice me, unless you want to notice me, unless you prefer a rambunctious child, in which case I can turn it on too. I'm quite good on the stage, as you may know." Basically, she's said she has some degree of split personality and she can play any role at any time. And so this could, in fact, this verse could just be about herself. Especially as she's saying, "You're beautiful," which would suit, in my ancient attitude, which would suit a woman more than the bloke. But obviously that's probably not true.
It could be Lana Del Rey versus Lizzie Grant.
Could well be, yeah, you're right. Yeah. They're American made. I mean, she's said many, many times that she's a patriot, and she loves American pop culture, but it seems to be that she's interested in that rather than anything political. She doesn't support the sometime political excesses of America. She just likes the Americana style. That comes out in songs like National Anthem.
All right. Give me Hallmark. One dream, one life, one lover. Paint me happy and blue. Norman Rockwell. No hype under our covers. It's just me and you.
Stop. Yes, Hallmark. What's Hallmark then?
Cards, in it.
Cards in it, yeah. It's a greeting card company founded in Missouri, which I believe is the actual correct pronunciation, although everyone says Missouri, in 1910. And in 1992, they launched the Hallmark Channel.
What do you mean it's Missouri?
That's how it's meant to be pronounced. Like Southall in Nottingham rather than Southwell.
Yeah, okay.
That kind of thing. Yeah, and in 1992 they launched the Hallmark Channel, which was a TV channel with sort of lots of schmaltzy stuff. As this sentimental, saccharine movies, as someone on the internet said.
I mean, Hallmark Life is, exactly what she says in the next line, right? Some sort of picture postcard idea of a romantic relationship and a life.
White picket fences and all that.
All that jazz.
Yes.
Keep me happy in blue.
Yes, this links to the title track of NFR, which has the line, your head in your hands as you colour me blue. Who is Norman Rockwell? We haven't actually said who Norman Rockwell is, have we?
Yes, I was going to mention that. Who is Norman Rockwell, Professor A?
Okay. He was a painter and author, American, of course. One of his best-known works is the Four Freedoms Project, which illustrated rights guaranteed to US citizens and raised money for America's involvement in World War II. I don't really know that much of his work, but didn't he use blue in a different way than most people did? In that he...
blue,
yeah, good song. I think, obviously, blue normally suggests sadness. I think in his paintings it didn't. He used it to suggest happiness or something like that, anyway.
Norman Rockwell, born 1894, died 1978. Mainly painter-illustrator, right? And if you think of the sort of classic images from the 20s, 30s, those sort of gaudy, caricaturish, that's classic Rockwell, I would say.
Right.
There are later stuff where it is more sort of artistic impressions, but those one sort of covers of magazines, sort of. I want to say caricature, but I don't know if that's what I mean. I don't have the right word for it. He also did painted portraits of Presidents Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, and Nixon. He illustrated Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah.
He produced covers for Boy's Life, and popular images included the Scout Oath, the Scout Law, and the Scout Master. But why is she drawn to him? I mean, my feeling is it's just this sort of image of Americana, because for me that is that sort of 20s, 30s. Even, I mean, he was painting up until his death, so there are the slight change, but there's lots of his famous works are from the 50s as well, which is kind of what I think of as Americana, sort of 50s, 60s rather than anything else.
Yeah, late 40s, 50s, yeah, post-war. Yeah, that's probably right. To go back briefly to that song "Get Free," which was the last track on the previous album. She finished out with the line, one of the last lines, "I want to move out of the black into the blue." So she's using blue as a positive there.
Okay.
And now Paint Me Happy in Blue. So she's, whether Rockwell did use it to denote happiness or not, she's subverting it from being blue sadness to blue happiness.
Okay. Just me and you. Okay, let's go for some more lyrics.
I don't know about the No Hype under our covers. I expected No Hype to be the title of a Rockwell painting or something, but I couldn't find anything that was. I don't know.
Well, he was a cover artist, right? So he was a cover artist, so he's famous for painting the covers of these magazines in the 20s and 30s. I don't know. And why Norman effing Rockwell? Why not just Norman Rockwell?
Who knows? Just because she loves to swear, I think.
He really does. Okay. All right, more lyrics. Oh God, miss you on my lips. It's me, your little Venice bee. And then repeat on the stoop. Bang, bang, kiss, kiss.
Yeah, then we got a bit which confuses me.
Oh, yeah?
Which is part of the sounding off bang, bang. It's the bit which goes, oh, shatter, yeah, oh, shatter, yeah, yeah, oh, shatter, yeah, sounding off bang, bang, kiss, kiss. I couldn't work out what that was meant to be at all.
Did she shatter everywhere?
I don't know. I do not know.
Shatter. So is that a broken mirror or broken glass?
No, good,
sounding off. Something, a loud noise breaking,
bang,
shattering a glass, or yeah.
And on the album cover, NFR or the full version, depending on which version you've got, it's sort of yellow and red explodey star like they used on Batman when he punched somebody, kablam. So
right.
Star like that, so that could be a bang sounding off there as well. I hadn't thought of. Maybe. Professor Dogger, can you stop messing around with my important cables and get back up there, please?
All right, let's have some more. We've had shatter.
The next line to me is, "You heard my baby's back in town."
Okay. You should come over. Come over. We'll be hanging around now. You should come over. You should come over. Oh God, I love him on my.
I'll just get that out of the way, rather than. It's probably a reference to a line on a song from the previous album again, which was the title track, "Lust for Life." She sings, "My boyfriend's back and he's cooler than ever," which was inspired by a song called "My Boyfriend's Back" by the Angels. But who is she talking to there? So has she been hanging out with someone else while her baby boyfriend was away? Or so you heard that my boyfriend's back in town. You should come over. We'll be hanging around now. So was she setting up a three-way? Who knows? I have no idea. It's deep and meaningful and stuff. Okay, I'm done with that bit.
Okay. Oh God, I love him on my lips. It's me, little Venice bee. Touch me with your fingertips. It's me, your little Venice bee. Back in the garden. We're getting high now because we're older. Me, myself, I like diamonds. My baby, crimson and clover.
Stop. Yes. Back in the garden, we're getting high now because we're older. So this is again why I'm thinking it's a sort of time lapse. So especially as that's kind of the impression the video gives. If you can ignore the graininess, it does seem to be a sort of time lapse thing. So now, because they're older, they're not just drinking or whatever they were doing before. They're also getting high, and we know she has various songs about this, "High by the Beach," etc. And then me, myself, I like diamonds. She's mentioned diamonds a lot. It's another big theme. It's another reference to Marilyn Monroe. Apparently, she stated that she has a special relationship with Marilyn Monroe. I'm not quite sure how that works. It's probably better than the special relationship between the UK and the US. Anyway, on the song Cola, which we didn't do because of other lyrics, she sings the lyrics, I wear my diamonds on Skid Row. And then again, he's in the sky with diamonds and he's making me crazy, which of course is a Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds reference. In the song Money, Power, Glory, she sings Dope and Diamonds, that's all I want. And in the second verse of the song National Anthem, she sings, do you think you'll buy me lots of diamonds? So, I think she likes diamonds. People have posited online that it might be referring to crystal meth. I don't know. Crystal is obviously diamonds, but I don't know whether she's ever been involved with crystal meth. I don't know. There have been various rumours about various substance abuses, but I don't know. Anyway, my baby, Crimson and Clover. Do you know about a song called Crimson and Clover?
No.
It's a 1968 single by Tommy James and the Shondells. It's considered a psychedelic rock classic. Some say, according to the internet, that the song is lyrically filled with innuendos concerning male and female genitalia. Others commend it as simply psychedelic bliss. So people have then further posited that she could be saying she likes drugs and he likes sex and rock and roll. So it's a sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing. Or it could be simple as it sounds. She likes the expensive things in life and her partner prefers the natural, simple things in life, crimson and clover, which grow around crimson flowers and clover, I presume. So, yes.
I think of crimson, I was thinking of Harvard. That's their colour, right?
Oh, right.
Harvard.
I don't really remember. I wandered around the area quite a lot when I was in Boston. I don't really associate with anyone who went to Harvard.
Yeah, the crimson, I'm sure it's from rowing. I think they're called the Crimsons, if I remember right. Anyway, all lyrics. Let me try and do this lot. La 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 la. Losers, beautiful losers. Woo 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 woo. Whatever, everything, whatever.
Yeah, let's just just get that bit out of the way, shall we?
Yeah.
That's probably another Leonard Cohen reference. In 1966, he wrote a novel called Beautiful Losers. So as I mentioned before, Lana recorded a cover of his song Chelsea Hotel No. 2, and she also performed a duet with his son Adam at a memorial concert for the recently deceased Leonard Cohen. Right. And on her Insta feed, which presumably is something that was added after you stopped liking Instagram, she wrote to the dead Cohen, other than Bob and Joan, you were the only person I ever really felt spoke my language. I have no idea who Bob and Joan are. Could be Bob Dylan and Joan. Joni Mitchell? Joan Armstrong? Yeah, who knows?
Joni Mitchell is very much still alive.
Is she? Well,
yes.
She didn't say if they were dead, Bob and Joan. But, yeah.
Well, I've got something topical about her.
Oh, have you?
So she had a stroke and couldn't walk and couldn't play guitar. And I mean, she's a good old age, right? So she was famously at Woodstock.
Yeah.
So she is 79 years old. So she had a stroke, and as part of that stroke, she lost her ability to play the guitar. Recently, in the last couple of weeks, she's played her first concert since I think in 20 years. Playing, and she was playing a Parker Fly, which is a guitar I happen to own myself, which is the lightest.
Is that the really light one? Yeah.
Yeah, the lightest. So someone who's older and has a neurological damage, you can understand why she's chosen this super light guitar. But she had an amazing list of people who were playing with her. I forget who it was. The only name I can remember is Annie Lennox, but there were a lot more impressive names than Annie Lennox. But not saying that Annie Lennox is unimpressive.
She's a hell of a singer. Well, she was. I don't know if she still is. Yeah. And that's pretty much all the lyrics to the coda.
Yeah.
You've got lots of crimson and clover, honey, over and over, honey. And then we get to the coda.
You weren't mine, I'd be jealous of your love.
Yes, which I thought must be a quote from something, but I can't find the thing. So I think it's just a straight. She means what she's saying.
Yeah.
So this is. Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say, so this is the one with the video that annoys the Jesus out of me. So it's just, I mean, I could do this in half an hour. Just go and stick a crappy camera out the back window of a car, drive around for a bit, cut it so it's unwatchable.
Well, you know what you should be doing then, don't you?
Yeah,
make some videos for our music. Exactly. We can't just stick them up as audio first.
Yeah, and this was directed by her sister, who is Chuck Grant. Now, interestingly, she has two siblings. Caroline goes by the name Chuck, and Charlie. Charles.
Yes, we mentioned him because he was in the Ride video.
Yes, but what's striking to me is that Chuck is normally the short term for Charles.
Charlie. Yeah, true.
Yeah. But Caroline has taken the name Chuck. Yeah. So, Rolling Stone noted that the video is a collage of vintage Super 8 style freeway footage, faded, flashed, fogged, looped, and sped up, intercut with weathered images of Lana hanging on her smartphone or goofing around in a pickup bed with two female friends.
She actually looks a lot younger in this video, I think.
The magic of Instagram.
Well, it could just be the magic of the way she's messing around with her friends, but they look like teenagers to me in that video.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I think we have to mention the music. It's got some beautiful guitar effects in it.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
I thought it was theremin at first, but it is all just knob whittling.
No, it's clearly guitar with synth pedals and stuff. It's again, this is the one that I was thinking of when I say it's the sort of guitar that I would like to play, but I always feel obliged to fill in too much of the space.
Yeah, so someone I read a review of it where they said musically it's very reminiscent of "Houses of the Holy" by Led Zeppelin. I can't quite bring that to mind at the moment, so I'm not sure if that's right or not. What else was I going to say? On the 2019 tour, this song was the outro song. It's her habit on pretty much all live concerts, all the ones I've seen anyway, that for the last song, she performs the song and she goes off down and spends 10 minutes signing autographs and taking pictures with the front row while the band rock out. And this was the rock out track for the 2019 song. It's really good live. Her guitarist is Byron somebody, and he's been there for a long time, and he's really very good.
All right.
I think that's probably one of my favourite songs. I have to say it by anyone.
It's a cracking tune. I've got a quote which is about this song, but kind of applies to the whole album. Let's throw it in anyway. I've cut off who made the quote, so sorry about that. Del Rey is many contradicting things. He is hopelessly in love and resigned to misery, an emotional crutch and an effing mess, willing to forgive the men in her life and disappointed in those who orbit in the same circles as her. It's an album of emotional ups and downs, but one that feels, perhaps thanks to her past habit of filtering things through a world of old Hollywood glamour and soft focus romanticism, like her realist one yet.
Yeah. Well, this album was the only one that's been sort of universally acclaimed. Every other album's had its big fans and its big detractors.
Right.
So this is the one which was voted as one of the top 500 albums ever by Rolling Stone.
Oh well.
Yeah. Just one last quote from the producer. Oh, I've actually got two quotes. Let's have another quote from the artist herself first. Something she said to Zay Lowe at the same time as the quote about the management. I think when I was writing this song, it was a more happy take on love, and it was just sort of about like, I tour, you write, we make it work. And also, you know, I love having painter references because I think sometimes when you're writing, you're sort of trying to paint these ideas into existence because I'm very visual too. So yeah, I don't know. I know it's a crazy title, but that's just the title of the record. And then the producer who wrote most of the music as well as producing it is a chap called Jack Antonoff, who is the frontman of a band called Bleachers. And he's worked a lot with Taylor Swift, Pink, and Lord, or Lordy. I've never worked out which it's meant to be. Lord, I think.
Lord,
in 2021, in a video chat with Ed Sheeran, for no apparent reason, he said that of all the tracks he's either produced or helped to write, this is his favourite. It took this crazy wild turn to end up being a sprawling long thing, he explained. It's one of those things that you can't plan to do. So, yeah, musical synergy, I guess we would say.
Put one.
Well, this one, but I don't know about that one. So we're going to have to come to a halt there. We still have 4 tracks to go through, so you might get either 1 or 2 more episodes.
Wow.
Yeah. But we will be back with more next week. And I should say, I've said some fairly disparaging things, but I am actually quite a big fan of Lana Del Ray. So this is all done with affection.
All done with an infection.
Yeah, that's not quite what it was. Thank you, Professor Dobbeck. That's great. So please leave us a like, subscribe to us, or whatever the phrase is, and we will see you shortly, hopefully. Farewell.
You be well.